Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Diego, and I'm gonna go live with you. Today is Saturday. Now, normally I'll go live on Sunday, but I'm gonna still go live Sunday tomorrow. But I'm getting lots of questions and in YouTube, so I figured I'd just make a live stream and try to help you guys answer the questions a lot quicker. Now, this is Diego. I'm in my K1 visa process with my primatita, the beautiful Karina. And Karina lives in Bogota, Colombia. And she's actually from Caracas, Venezuela, beautiful Venezuela, but she's living in Bogota, Colombia as a legal resident since 2018. So, I'm looking through the YouTube questions and answers, and I'm getting lots of questions. And Sheena Anderson, hello, Diego, watching from Maryland. Hi, Sheena. And Sheena, congratulations on your NOA2 letter approval. You just got your visa approved with your NOA2 letter. I know you must be excited about that. I'm excited for you. Karina is excited for you. That's fantastic news. Now, the next thing is just got to wait for the MVC welcome letter and all that good stuff. Now, be patient, okay? Because it could take, 2 weeks. It could take 6 weeks, 8 weeks. But the maximum you'll probably wait would be 15, 16 weeks at the most. But just be patient, okay? You're going to move on to the next level. It's like a video game. You've got to this level. Now you're going to go to the next level, which is the NOA2 level to the MVC. Now, what the MVC will do is they'll assign you a case number. Now, if you don't get an invoice number right away, that's okay. Just relax. That means that the embassy's not ready for your package yet, for your visa, okay, for your visa process. So if you get a case number and a welcome letter, then go ahead and see what you can do to start studying the process, okay? But relax, you'll be there soon. You're at the finish line. Marlet Chaka, hello from Ethiopia, beautiful Ethiopia. I hope it's not too late in the day for you there, Marlet. And we appreciate you stopping by from Ethiopia. How's the weather there? Is it nice and warm? Today, I live in Florida. I live in the panhandle of Florida. And this way is Alabama, and then north is Georgia. But it was not hot today. It was just kind of a dreary, rainy day. And it was interesting because my neighbor, he got out and started washing his car, and it started drizzling. So I feel sorry for him. So it's a bit cold in Ethiopia. Oh, okay. Well, bundle up. So now Sheena just got her NOA2 letter finally. And Archer, hello, Mr. Diego, and everyone. Hey, Archer, how are you, my friend? Yep. Now give everybody a high five to Sheena. She just got her NOA2 letter. And I'm getting lots of questions. There's a young lady. She has her visa going to the embassy in Ankara, Turkey, but she wants to transfer it to the embassy in Bahrain because her fiance relocated from Turkey to Bahrain. And Fabienne Clermont, hello from New York. Hey, Fabienne. So if you want to transfer your visa from one embassy to another, it's not probably the easiest thing to do, but I'm not saying it's not impossible because people move. So what I recommend people do is they email, once they get their welcome letter from the MVC makes the decision. They're the ones that mail the K1 visa to the embassy. So you want to email the MVC and say, hey guys, and then in the subject line of the email, put in the receipt number of your NOA2 letter and say, look, I want to transfer my visa package from Turkey to Bahrain. And then email the explanation, okay, and explain why. And then email the embassy in Bahrain. And in the subject line, put the NOA2 letter, receipt number, your name, etc. And then say, look, my visa package went to the embassy in Turkey, and my fiance moved to Bahrain, and now he's going to move. He wants to do his visa interview in Bahrain. And the question that I got was, well, is this going to slow down the process? Well, every embassy has a different workload, a different schedule, different staffing levels. So I don't know. You know, nothing's ever fast in the K1 visa process. And Artur, waiting on my approval notice. Yeah, got approved on April 18th. So March 22nd is when you got your NOA1 letter. April 18th is when you got your NOA2 letter. So Artur, you're just basically waiting on the MVC now. What you're waiting for is for USCIS to mail your package to the MVC. The MVC will get it, and then they will process a case number. Okay, and then once you get that, then you're going to get an invoice number. Then you're going to start, go into your SEAC online account and look for the ready notice. Once you see the ready notice, that means that the embassy is ready for you to schedule the interview. So what are you going to do? Well, you're going to pay the visa fee, okay? And visa fees are going up in May, okay, guys, which is Monday. Monday is the 1st of May, that month. You go ahead and pay the visa fee. Then you fill out your DS-160. Now, if you have more than one person on this K1 visa, if you have a child coming in on a K2 visa, you have to do a separate DS-160 for the beneficiary and also for the beneficiary's son or daughter. So there's going to be 2 DS-160s, okay, for 2 people, 3 for 3 people, 4 for 4 people. Now, the sponsor can help the beneficiary fill out the form. Let's suppose, like Karina doesn't speak English, so I'll help her fill out the form, the DS-160. It's very easy to do. I mean, it's not a difficult form. But she will be signing it with an electronic signature. I'm also getting questions about the USCIS form I-134, the Declaration of Financial Support. Now, when you go to your visa interview, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, when you go to your visa interview, you have to bring a signed original Declaration of Financial Support form, I-134, signed in black ink, full name of your sponsor, not a copy, not a photocopy, not a certified copy, not a scanned copy. It has to be the original signed document, okay, in your hand, Miss Beneficiary, for your face-to-face visa interview at the embassy. And does USCIS send the approval notice in the mail? Yes, they will. They'll email you. The MVC will email you, and the USCIS will mail you a second Form I-797, which is your approval notice. Your second letter, your NOA2, comes in the mail. Get it in your mailbox, okay? When you go to your visa interview, okay, you're face-to-face with the immigration officer. The immigration officer really doesn't have time to study all the forms and the documents that you bring, but you got to bring them. Your last tax return, 1040, tax transcript. Well, I would bring 3 years worth at a minimum. W-2s, 1099s. If you need a joint sponsor, the joint sponsor has to sign and fill out USCIS form I-134, Declaration of Financial Support, in black ink. But the joint sponsor does not have to attend the face-to-face interview at the embassy. Only the beneficiary and her children do, and the sponsor if the embassy allows it, okay? So, the U.S. Embassy in Colombia, Bogota, allows for me to be there with Karina. So I'll accompany her to her visa interview. So it's good stuff. Getting a K1 visa is not the easiest thing to do in the world. It's a waiting game. You got to jump through all these hoops, and you got to qualify for all these different processes. And it's a step by step. Like you're a frog in a pond, jumping from lily pad to lily pad. You mail your package to the Dallas lockbox. From the Dallas lockbox, they send it to the U.S. Service Center. So, and then from the Service Center, they send it to the MVC. Then the MVC, they send it to the embassy in your beneficiary's country. But I prefer, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I much prefer the K1 visa process. Even though it's a little more time, costs a little bit more money, it's a whole lot less stress at the MVC processing, okay? And thank you, Mr. Diego. Good luck to everyone. Artur, thank you, Artur. Good luck to you. You're at the finish line. We're almost there. Now, the MVC, when they get it, when they get a CR1 visa, they're going to send you an email telling you to upload all these documents. Certified copy of the birth certificate translated into English, passport information, financial information, asset information, all this kind of stuff. And the K1 visa, you don't have to do all that. K1 visa, NVC gets it. They do a background check on your sponsor. Then once that gets done, they just mail your stuff off to the embassy. And then you go face to face with the embassy officer. And then you do all this heavy lifting paperwork in the United States, but with your beneficiary. Now your wife or husband is with you. Lealtad y respeto. My friend Diego, mi amigo. Sí, gracias para pregunta. No pregunta. Normalmente tu pregunta para mí. Today, I decided to go ahead and do a live stream Saturday, and I'm going to still do live stream Sunday, and I'm also going to do live stream Wednesday, okay? I'm getting lots and lots. As the YouTube channel grows, I'm getting lots of questions, and I can't answer them all in one time on a Sunday. So I'm going to go live on a Saturday, and I'm going to go live on a Sunday, and I'm going to go live on Wednesday. So that should space it out during the week to give everybody an opportunity to ask me questions, and hopefully I have the answers for you. Most of the time I know the answer. If I don't know the answer, I will find the answer. Now remember, I'm a real estate agent and not a immigration attorney, and I don't give legal advice here. This is just my experience, okay? It's my experience in this immigration process. Greetings, Leotard. Good to see you. I hope your day is going well. Everybody. And Karina, she's at work. Karina's at work today in her ice cream store in Bogota. And tomorrow she's going to work. And Monday, I think she's going to take Monday off. May 1st is a day off for her. But I'm not. I'm going to keep working, helping you guys, making videos and doing YouTube live streams. So I'm going to do live streams Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday. Now, on Wednesday, I'll do the live stream like at 7 p.m. Central Time. Give everybody time to eat their dinner, get home from work, and relax a little bit. And then at 7 p.m., I'll go live on Wednesday in the middle of the week, because I'm sure people have collected up all their questions and they want answers right away. And trying to get an answer from USCIS is not the easiest thing to do. It's a slow process. But they're busy, they're busy processing visas, which we want them to do, right? So we want them processing visas, not chit-chatting on the phone. Hey, immigration, how are you? Oh, I'm good. What's the status of my visa? Well, it's in process. Well, when is it going to be ready? They don't know. They don't know. The reason I say that is because right now, and they don't know. Every visa is different. And if they had the answer, they probably wouldn't tell you. They'll tell you to check back. They're just too busy. They're going to just say, they're going to want to get you off the phone and get back to visa processing. Okay. Now, Archer, keep the live stream, Mr. Diego. It's easy to ask questions. Yeah. Great. Thanks. I'm responding to you guys. This is your YouTube channel. And instead of me just escribo, instead of me writing in YouTube questions and answers, which I'll still do, I figured I'll do a live stream on Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday. So that's 3 times a week. And that gives everybody time who may not be able to see tomorrow's live stream, will be able to see today's live stream. And then Wednesday's the middle of the week, and then people get off of work and get home and do that too. Then they can watch too, get their answers going. So Archer is asking, how long will it take for the I-797? Now that's for the NOA-2 letter. If you got an email or somewhere online, you got your online account telling you that it's approved, then it should be just, a week at the most. It doesn't take long. Like when I filed my K1 visa package, I mailed it. 4 days later, I got the NOA-1 letter from USCIS. It went to Texas and then California in 4 days, and I got my letter in the mail all in that time frame. That was quick. I'm like, wow. But that was 13 months ago. So it didn't turn around. It's still not going quite as fast as everybody would like, but it's getting quicker. Now, I read today that a person who had filed their K1 visa April 1st, 2022. Got their receipt dates April 1st, 2022. They are now getting they got their NOA2 letter, their approval letter. So from April 1, 2022 to April 29th, 2023, that's the turnaround time for that particular person. So 13 months, not 16.5 months, not 18 months, not 19 months. Okay. And don't forget to give a shout out to Sheena. She just got her NOA2 letter. So she's happy. She's happy as can be. And I don't blame her. Karina is happy for you guys also. Sheena, is good news. Okay. And we can't wait for Sheena to get into the visa interview and get all that stuff over with. And then move on to the next level. Okay. So, this channel is all about you guys. I know it's a difficult process. I know I've been through it before, guys. This isn't my first rodeo. Now I'm going to make some videos about Morocco, the embassy processing in Morocco, Ethiopia. And there was some questions I was getting about Iraq, Russia, and Iran. Okay. So if you live in Russia and you got your K1 visa approved, okay, your sponsor got an NOA2 letter, the MVC is not going to mail the visa package to the U.S. Embassy in Moscow, Russia. The embassy is closed, basically, okay? So because they're closed, more than likely, most visas are getting sent to Warsaw, Poland. So if you are in Russia, okay, if you live in Russia, hopefully you can see this channel in Russia, I don't know, you will be getting your K1 visa interview probably at the embassy in Warsaw, Poland, or you could pick another embassy just as long as you notify the National Visa Center, okay? Or the National Visa Center may just decide for you that you're going to be here. This is where your embassy visa interview is going to be. Fabienne Claremont, USCIS is very disorganized. They're very new people. They got a lot of new people who are trying to learn the job. Just as we had to figure out how to put a K1 visa package together, they're trying to learn how to review and adjudicate it. So it's difficult for them too. Dejalao Kralua. Hello, Diego. How are you? Appreciate your video about Qatar. Yeah, great. I'm glad you liked the video about Qatar, a beautiful part of the world. It's a very hot place. Ooh, it's hot in Qatar, but it's very modern. It's technically advanced, and it's a very rich nation too. Ralph Worley, good evening, Mr. Diego. Do you know how many they're processing a day now? Yeah, well, they're going between 700, 800, 900 a day, depending on what their inflow is. It's hard to give an exact number, but they're processing a bunch. There are people who've submitted their K1 visas back in April 2022, the first week, who are getting the NOA2 letters now. So they're knocking them out, okay? Sheena, my process took 13 months for approval. Yeah, 13 months is good. It's better than 17, 18 months like it was before. Now it's down to 13 months. And I see you're live now. Yeah, I went live right now. I'm getting so many questions that the YouTube channel has grown. When I started the YouTube channel for you guys, I wanted to help you. And I don't want to just help a handful of people, and everybody keeps subscribing to the channel, which is good. They help because then when I upload a video, if you're subscribed to the channel, you get notified about it, and then you can see the video. You don't have to subscribe to the channel. You don't have to, but if you do, that's when you get notified. Diego, I hear from attorney free consultation. She suggests spousal is better because I was denied with my first K1. She said I will really reapply. US will be suspicious. No. Why? Number one, why was your first K1 visa denied? Why was it denied? Was it because, I think I remember, it's because you didn't meet face to face in the window of time that you were supposed to meet, if I remember. So that was not anything suspicious. It was just that you didn't understand the process, So if you don't understand the process and you made an error, immigration, they're not merciful people. Okay, so you can reapply for another K1 visa. You're only allowed 2 in a 2-year period, though. Okay, you got to wait 2 years before you can apply. So if you apply for a K1 visa, like I applied for my first K1 visa December 2016, I applied for my second K1 visa in April 2022. So there was plenty of time in between the visas. There was plenty of time between the processing. Yeah, because my first attorney applied before we met in the last 2 years. I remember. Yeah, that wasn't your fault. So don't worry about it. Legally, congressional law allows you to have a second K1 visa. And if you go on a third one, you have to get a waiver. You got to get a letter, write a letter of why you are on your number 3. And if the explanation is good, maybe your wife passed away, then you can prove all that, then you can go on a third one. But two is normally the minimum. But it's very important before you submit your K1 visa package to USCIS. It is very important that you follow, the rules and the guidelines. When you submit your photographs, that you identify who's in the picture, you identify the day the picture was taken and where the picture was taken. And you want to submit at least, 20 or 30 pictures with family and friends, not just selfies. Selfie. Immigration couldn't care less about selfies, okay? They want to see you with family and friends interacting in your community, in your beneficiary's country. Now, remember this. If you, Miss Beneficiary, came to the USA on vacation, all right, when your sponsor submits the K1 visa package, he must also include Form I-94, which is your record of legal entry into the United States. When you did a face-to-face with the Customs and Border Patrol officer, they let you in the country, you went on vacation, you went back to your home country, and now you have a K1 visa waiting for you in process. You have to include the Form I-94 in the K1 visa process, and you have to also include it when you do the adjustment of status, okay? So very important. Stella Adenji. Good evening, Mr. Diego. My case is already in Nigeria Embassy. Oh, good gracious, since April 6th, but no appointment date. Okay, you have to go online and you have to keep looking and checking and see if you can schedule an appointment. Now, I don't remember if in the embassy in Nigeria, whether the embassy schedules your appointment or you have to do it. I think you have to do it. Okay, so you got to keep going into the website and try to schedule your visa interview. You got to pay your MVC. You got to pay your visa fees. Okay, pay your visa fee. Very important. You pay your visa fee, and then print the receipt that you paid the visa fee, and then that way you can continue to the next step. Okay. So April 6th, and we have no appointment date. Yeah, that embassy must be pretty busy. Okay. Same for Karina. The embassy in Colombia could be the same for me. I just have to keep trying and checking and trying to schedule the visa interview. And when you see an open slot, jump in there and get it. And then don't forget, you got to do the DS-160, print the confirmation page of the DS-160. Once you get your scheduled visa interview, and you got a medical exam to do also. And the medical exam is good for 6 months, only good for 6 months. So everything's a tight circle of things that you got to do. And so Stella, you got to keep trying, okay? Keep trying, keep getting on that website, trying to get in there. I think it's in Nigeria, go into travel docs, go into that, go into your country, Nigeria, and then boom, keep trying and get your visa scheduled, okay? It's not an easy process, but eventually you're going to get through it. And so I was talking about Iraq, Russia, and Iran, okay? If you are in Iraq, if you live in Iraq, I don't know. I don't think the embassy's processing visas out of our U.S. embassy in Iraq. So you're going to have to get your embassy interview at another location, probably Turkey, Egypt, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, somewhere like that. And then I don't know what the visa implications are. I don't know if you have to have a visa to enter all these from Iraq to these different countries. I don't know. I could find out. So if you're in Iraq, more than likely, In fact, I'm pretty positive you have to have your face-to-face visa interview in another country's embassy. Okay, so the United States isn't going to try to stop you from coming here from Iraq. We love everybody, but you probably won't be able to go to that embassy. If you are in Iran, if you live in Iran and you have a K1 visa in process, that's good. We love our friends in Iran. We got no problem. I just wish I wish the governments would quit beating each other up. The people are good. The people are good. In Iran, you could have to get your visa interview probably in Armenia. Is I believe is the most common embassy for Iranians. So if you're in Iraq, Russia, or Iran, then you're going to be having to leave your country to get your visa interview done in another country. And the folks who live in Russia, I don't know if you can see this video or not. I don't know if Russia has blocked internet traffic from the United States. I don't know. But if you live in Russia, you're going to have to get a Schengen visa, a European visa, an EU visa to leave Russia and go to another country and get your interview done there. unless you travel to another country like in South America, perhaps. That's up to you. So that should cover Iraq, Russia, and Iran. Okay. Somebody asked me to make a video about Ghana and Ethiopia and the Republic of Georgia. I've got those on my list. And remember, it takes me maybe 4 or 5 hours to make one 5-7 minute video. It's a lot of work, and that's fine. I don't mind, but it takes a lot of work. And so I can't just pop a video out that in 10 minutes. It takes me about 5 hours to upload, produce, edit, and coordinate a video. Then I got to run it through copyright checks to make sure I didn't copyright anything. And then YouTube approves it and it goes public. And today's latest video, I made a video about communist Cuba. The U.S. Embassy is open in communist Cuba, and which is good. So the folks in Cuba who want to get out of Cuba and get reunited with their American citizen sponsor, it's not a problem. They're processing visas, but they're not processing tourist visas in the embassy in Cuba. No tourist B2 visas is like non-existent. So, but then again, we don't really see eye to eye with the Cuban government. We don't see eye to eye with the Venezuelan government. So that's 2 more countries that we don't see eye to eye with, and the people are the ones that suffer for the government's attitude toward each other. But we keep moving on. We don't give up. Positive attitude all the way, right? Positive attitude all the way. And so I'm going to go live, guys, on Saturdays, Sundays, and on Wednesdays. Okay. So that way, if you need someone to talk to about this immigration nightmare, because sometimes it feels like a nightmare, I'll be here for you guys, and you can chat with me live. Okay. Ask me questions, And Karina, like I said, she's at work. She's doing good. She can't wait to get her visa and her passport. And, my recommendation is once you get to the United States, in the 3 months that you're here, in the 3-month window that you have to get married, also try to adjust your status in that 3-month window. Okay. Jose Azabata, live for the first time with Diego. Jose, boy, welcome. We're glad you're here. Good to see you with us live. Now, I'm live in Florida. Where are you live at? Don't forget, guys, when you come on here, now I know I remember where most of you guys are from, but just, as a courtesy to everybody else, just say, well, this is so-and-so, and I'm from here. So Jose, where are you live right now? Connecticut. Whoa, Jose is in Connecticut. Okay. So you're way up there northeast. Is it cold up there? How's the weather in Connecticut? Here in Florida, it's balmy and sweaty. But I like that kind of tropical weather. Now, also, make plans for your wedding, guys. Make plans for your wedding. When you get to the USA, try to get your wedding done in the 3-month window that immigration allows you to get married in. If you can do the adjustment of status in that 3-month window, and you stack a bunch of evidence together and load up a bunch of evidence in that adjustment of status paperwork, then you'll probably get your green card without having to go in front of another visa officer or immigration officer for a face-to-face. So try to put together a strong package and get it done in 3 months, get everything together, and then hopefully you don't have to endure another face-to-face scary visa interview. Fabienne Clermont, I'm trying to assemble all the paperwork for my fiance's interview. Okay, very good. Jose, you know I'm very passionate about the CR1. Can you talk about that? CR1 visa, absolutely. Now, the CR1 visa is a spousal visa. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's just you're married to a foreign national, Mr. American citizen, and you filed a form I-130. You filed a spousal visa, okay? Not a K-1 visa. This is different. So what happens is you put together a package just as strong as you would a K-1 visa package. You got to have the evidence in the CR1 visa package that you would have in a K-1 visa package. A photocopy color, photocopy of your benefit or your wife's or husband's passport, foreign passport. A certified translation of the wife or husband's birth certificate if it's in a foreign language. Photographs of you together, photographs of your wedding, photographs of trips together, boarding passes where you went to visit and met each other. The stronger the visa package, the better. Your last tax return, if you have it, or your tax transcript, include that. If you can, a police certificate. Now you can give the police certificate at the visa interview, but I prefer to include it in the CR1 visa package, which I've done in the past. Get your police certificate translated into English by a certified translator. It has to be done by a certified translator, okay? You can't, there's places that I've seen where it says make a note, write a note, that this is a translation by me into Spanish, that I speak fluent Spanish. No, don't do that. You stay out of it. Mr. Sponsor, you stay out of it. Let a third party, not related to you or your family, who is a certified translation company, translate your documents. That takes you out of the loop and that protects you so there's no fraud indication, okay? Another thing, when you submit photos to your CR1, when you get married, you got lots of wedding pictures, family pictures, etc. Yes, you submit those documents in the first round, Joe Jose. Absolutely. Everything in the first round. You want to get that visa approved, okay? And then the second round is the MVC stage. So you put together a CR1 visa package, passport. You got to prove you are a U.S. citizen, Jose. A photocopy of your passport, a biographic page in color, not black and white, in color. A photocopy of your passport in color of your biographic page. If you are a naturalized American, include your naturalization certificate, photograph of that. Your driver's license, include a photocopy of your driver's license and blow it up. Okay, because remember, they're going to scan these documents. The immigration will scan these documents. So get a copy of your driver's license, blow it up as big as you can, and then and then submit that. And then it makes it easier for the National Visa Center to see it. And, you don't want to send a little photocopy of your driver's license like this. Immigration can't hardly see it. Blow it up. And then that way, when they scan it, the MVC will receive it and everybody can see it. Photographs together. All the evidence that you can possibly put together that you are in a real relationship, that you're married, when you get married, did you go on a honeymoon? I'm sure if you did, that's fine. If you didn't, that's fine too. But if you went on a honeymoon, get all the evidence of the honeymoon, hotel receipts, boarding passes on planes. Let's suppose you went on a honeymoon. Like when I was dating Karina, we're not married, we're single, right? I'm divorced, she's single. But when we went on trips together, we flew to Cartagena, we flew to Cucuta for vacations together in Colombia. I kept all the boarding passes and all the hotel receipts and all the dinner receipts. We went to eat in a restaurant in Cucuta. I kept the receipt. for my credit card and printed it. And I took photocopies of the plane tickets, everything. And so I have a big, thick K1 visa package. There's no difference for a CR1 visa package, Jose. There's no difference. The only difference is you guys are married. So you have to prove you guys are married. Well, you better include your marriage certificate where you got married to show you guys are married. You need to, get a couple of letters of affidavit from your family or friends who attended the wedding. Okay, so your friend who's your best man or best woman, have him or her write a letter, affidavit attesting that, yeah, I was the best man at the Jose's wedding, and boom, include that. Every little thing that you can put together as evidence that you guys are married will help you. I love the details. Writing this. Okay, Jose, I'll go a little slower for you so you can write it. Okay. Marriage certificate. Got to have the marriage certificate. Photographs, at least 20 or 30 photographs of you guys and family, friends, or wedding pictures, honeymoon pictures, vacations. Police certificate for your wife or for your wife, a police certificate. Translated into English by a certified translator. Got to have that. Let's see. Your last tax return, tax transcript, W-2, 1099. Let's see here. This is for a CR1 visa, folks. Okay, this is a spousal visa. Everything basically that you put in a CR1 visa, you're going to include in a K1 visa and vice versa, excluding the marriage license, because Karina and I are not married yet, so I don't have a marriage license. Here's one thing that I include: copy of WhatsApp chat and call logs. Yep, absolutely. If you get WhatsApp, put on your phone and print, a couple of messages every couple of weeks. So about once a month, you should have about 8 or 10 WhatsApp chats. Include that. Let's see here. And all of this is to be submitted in the first round. Yeah, put it in the first round. Jose, you want to submit a well-structured, very strong visa package where the immigration officer, all he can do is look at it, or she looks at it, knows this is a good visa package, flips through it, make sure you signed everything, everything's dated. Boom, you're good. You get approval that much quicker. Okay, make it strong. And then when you get to the second round, it's going to be MVC processing, which means you have to be ready to upload your documents to the SEAC system, the State Department SEAC system. Make sure you start preparing for that now. Get all your wedding photos together, all your pictures together. Upload about 10 of those onto a flash drive under 2 megabytes. Okay, put them on a flash drive. So if your computer crashes, you got a backup. Keep them on your computer, keep them on a flash drive, and put them on a disk if you want. That's up to you. I double, tripled everything. I got it on a flash drive, on a disk, right here, like right here. Right here, I put everything on a disk. Karina's immigration documents. It's on a disk. It's on a flash drive, which is in the back, and it's on the computer. Under 2 megabytes. Get ready for your National Visa Center processing. You're going to upload a copy of your passport, your beneficiary's passport, marriage certificate, photos, tax return, tax transcript, any assets if you want to include assets and things like that. Okay, so just imagine that your CR1 visa is no different from a K1 visa package, except the difference is you guys are married, and you're going to include a marriage certificate proving that you guys are married to each other. That's what they're going to look for. Immigration is going to be looking for the marriage certificate. And don't forget, when you fill out the check, when you write the check to pay for the visa, you got to fill out the check correctly. Okay, you can't put any abbreviations in the check. It's to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Okay, it's not USDHOS. Can't abbreviate it. When you fill out the check for your visa, make sure you fill out the check exactly as they want you to fill it out. U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Okay, and then the amount for a K1 visa as of today, which is April 29th, 2023, is $535, but that's going to change in May. Okay. Pink Rose, hi Diego, how are you? I hope you are fine. Please, I have one question about I-134 from, do I need to take the original form to the U.S. Embassy in the interview? Pink Rose, absolutely, you must bring the original Declaration of Financial Support form, I-134. Black ink signed, the full name of your sponsor, okay? It has to be the original, black ink, has to be black ink. You cannot use a scanned copy. You cannot use an email copy. You cannot use a micro copy. It has to be the exact original form, Pink Rose. Okay, and that includes that's the I-134, and also you need to bring your original birth certificate and your passport, etc. And you got to put a cover letter on everything. Sheena is correct. When you put your K1 visa package together or your CL1 visa package together, you fill out a cover letter addressed to USCIS, Louisville, Texas, etc. And in a cover letter, you're going to include in there the number one, copy of marriage certificate. Number two, certified, oh, you don't have to certify, copy of passport, beneficiary. Number three, copy of passport for sponsor. Number four, proof of U.S. citizenship, copy of naturalization papers. So you put a cover sheet together, and on the cover sheet, you're going to date it, and you're going to sign it, okay? And then you're going to put a disclaimer in the cover sheet that says all these documents, the originals could be asked for by the immigration officer at the embassy interview, and none of the documents have been altered. So you haven't been whiting out anything. Yeah, put a cover letter together was also helpful, and I also submitted a thank you letter at the end signed by us. Yeah, be appreciative of immigration for what they're doing. You know, the U.S. Congress created this K1 visa, CL1 visa benefit back in the 1970s. Now, we had a bunch of Vietnam veterans, military Vietnam veterans who wanted to marry their Vietnamese brides, but there was such an immigration problem, nightmare, difficulty, that all these Vietnam veterans got together and wrote a letter to their congressmen and women and said, hey, why is this so difficult? Why is it so hard for me to marry my Vietnamese fiance? Come on, guys. This is crazy. So what they did was the Congress created the K1 visa and the CR1 visa back in the 70s. So if you appreciate this benefit, thank a Vietnam vet, because they're the ones that made it happen. Let's see here. Yeah, good idea, Sheena Anderson. Good idea. Thank immigration. Thank them for their hard work. Kutrukan Bini Yao. I have a question on I-134. If the beneficiary owns a home and has a mortgage on it, can this be considered or declared as an asset? Part 317, number 17. Absolutely. Now, here's what you include. If you want, you can use the house, use the real estate holding as an asset, but you got to remember that the value of the asset will only be counted minus the mortgage. So if you got a $300,000 house and you've got a $200,000 mortgage and you have $100,000 in equity in the house, then $100,000 is the amount that can be considered for the asset towards the income to make up any difference. So you got that? So you take the house value, okay, minus the mortgage, and then the difference is what the asset value is going to be for immigration. Pink Rose, thanks a lot. Your answers are super informative. Pink Rose, we're going to pull you over the finish line. We're going to get you in the United States so you guys can get married and have a fantastic life together. This channel is all about you guys. I've been through it before, and I know what it's like. It's not fun. So we're going to try to make it fun and make it easy for you. Maglee, hi, Diego. Hope you're doing well. Doing fantastic. During the embassy interview for the K1 visa, does the interviewer ask the questions in English or in the language of the beneficiary? Well, when Karina, I think she just messaged me, But when Karina goes to her embassy interview in Bogota, Colombia, because Karina doesn't speak English, they're going to ask her all the questions in Spanish. And I'll be sitting there. Now, if they let me in, it's up to the immigration officer. Now, I understand Spanish, so I'll be listening to the questions, and I will answer questions in English. Okay? So 99% of the time, your beneficiary will be asked in her language of origin. Okay? State Department personnel, when they hire people, if let's suppose I wanted a job at the embassy, U.S. embassy in let's say South Korea. I should know South Korean. They would expect me to know South Korean. So to answer the question, your beneficiary will be asked questions in her native language. Don't worry. Been there, done that, experienced it. I've watched it. And Janiela James in Jamaica, you don't go in with your beneficiary. It's only the beneficiary goes in. That's because the ambassador at the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica wants it that way. So if you're in Jamaica, you go in by yourself, Mr. Beneficiary, and don't worry. It's no big deal. Just answer the questions. Okay, so you're getting ready for your visa interview. Wear business attire. Don't wear jeans and t-shirt. Okay, I like jeans and t-shirt. I'm a t-shirt guy. But you wear business attire. Okay, comb your hair, and ladies, put on a business dress. And be conservative in the way you dress in business attire. If you do not know the answer to a question, that is not a fail. If you are given a question by the immigration officer at your embassy interview and you don't know the answer, say, ma'am, well, sir, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that. Don't make up anything. Don't make up stuff, because the immigration officer knows the answer to the question. And if you make up something and it doesn't match what the immigration officer knows, then that's the problem. But if you don't know the question, the answer to the question, say, I don't know. For example, they could ask you, what is the name of your sponsor's mother? What's her name? And what if the sponsor's mother has passed away 20 years ago and you don't know? You say, I don't know. Just say, I don't know. It never came up in conversation. Immigration officers at your visa interview there'll be one of two kinds. There'll be either mean and nasty, or businesslike and kind and genteel. Now, if they're mean and nasty, they're trying to make you angry. Okay? Don't get angry. Just be polite and understand it's all Hollywood. Okay? It's the Hollywood. They're trying to scare you. Especially in the countries where there's a lot of fraud for K-1 visas. In countries with a high fraud rate, you're going to find the embassy officer is going to be a jerk to try to scare you. But if your relationship is real, be calm, be relaxed, and say, I'm sorry, sir, ma'am, I don't know. Or give the answer. Do not guess. Do not guess. Quico Food War. Hello, Diego. Can my fiance send the completed I-130 form and all accompanying documents electronically? No. Nope. Has to be. Now, the financial documents, sure. Absolutely, no problem. But the I-134 has to be printed by your sponsor, filled out by your sponsor, filled out, printed, signed in black ink and dated, and it has to be mailed to you, or he needs to get on a plane and bring it to you personally. Now, what I'm going to do is when I get my NOA2 letter, is I'm going to wait about 2 weeks or 3 weeks and then fly to Colombia. Then I'm going to fill out the I-134 in Bogota, Colombia, print it at my apartment, and then sign it and date it and give it to Karina. Now, a lot of you living far away from each other may not be able to do that. If you're in the Philippines and your sponsor's in the United States, what's that, a 24-hour plane ride? It's more difficult. So you'd have to, or he would have to print it, sign it, and FedEx it to you, okay? Or DHL or UPS. Probably DHL is the better way to go. So Quico, no, the the financial documents can be sent electronically, but not the form I-134. It's got to be the hand-signed, full original document. Let me see here. Dajal Kralua, is the embassy allowed my sponsor to be with me? Yeah, it depends on which embassy. I don't know what the embassy is. Let me know what country you're in, and I try to remember where you guys are all from, but I'm an old guy. I can't remember as much as I should. Get the original I-134, Declaration of Financial Support, okay, guys? The original. Don't be sending copies because it will get rejected at the embassy interview. Then you're going to get an RFE. Then you're going to have to go call your sponsor up. I need the original, please. And then he's going to have to go redo it. Then he's going to have to FedEx it to you or DHL it. Best thing to do is for him or her to get on a plane with all this, with a complete copy of the K1 visa package or the CR1 visa package, get on a plane and bring it to you, the original documents. If he can only stay a week, so be it. He only can stay a week. But you got the documents and everything in hand. And then you got more evidence for the visa interview. Now, I know it's expensive flying from the United States to the Philippines. It's what, $1,800 round trip, $2,000? That's a lot of money. So it gets expensive. For me to fly round trip to Bogota, Colombia, it cost me $600. So it's a little cheaper for me because, Colombia is just south of the border here. So, I hope that answered your question there, Quico. All right. Make sure you get the original I-134. Now's the time. It's very important. You don't want to have your visa interview scheduled, then you get it blocked for 3 more months because of a technicality like that. Okay. Tell your sponsor to get off his butt, fly on a plane, come to you, come see you with that original document. I know it's difficult, but you only have to do it one time. And plus, he gets to spend time with you. Crack Toucan Bini Yao. If the beneficiary has no assets or no income, will there be a problem for immigration? If you don't meet the income requirements, if you have no assets or no income, you will need a joint sponsor. If you don't have a joint sponsor, you will not get the visa. Okay? You won't get the visa. You got to have a joint sponsor. If you have no income, no assets, nothing, then the joint sponsor is going to, and then your fiance will fill out the Declaration of Financial Support with nothing, no income, no job, unemployed, whatever. And then the joint sponsor will fill out the same thing and sign it. And then you, Miss Beneficiary, will bring the joint sponsor I-134 plus your sponsor's I-134 together. Two together. You're going to have both of them. And that's not a wedding ring, though, guys. That's an engagement ring. Some people, you got a wedding ring on? No, that's an engagement ring. Karina and I are engaged. So, but when I go to the visa interview, I want to take it off so the immigration officer doesn't think I'm married, because that would be just a bad experience right there. Okay. Jose, did you get my previous message? Let me see. Jose, I have a friend that submitted an I-130 1.5 years ago, and case says that it is being actively reviewed. What do I think of this? Well, that means immigration's looking at it, and they're fixing to make a decision, either yes or no. Actively reviewed means immigration's looking at it, and they may be investigating some things a little deeper. Like for me, I am on my second K1 visa. If I get a message like that, if they're actively reviewing my case, that means they're trying to investigate to make sure my first K1 visa terminated and was washed away, that my ex-wife is not a dependent of mine, because if she's a dependent of mine, then I have to include her on my Declaration of Financial Support. She's not a dependent. She returned back home to her home country, so she's not my dependent. So I didn't include her on my I-134, which I've practiced filling out, by the way. Get online and practice filling out this I-134. Okay. Let's see here. Britkey, check my message, please. Okay. Hi, I got my USCIS approval on April 10th, 2023, but I don't know when I'll get my MVC. Okay. Break key, it takes between 2 weeks to 3 months for the MVC to contact you once you get your NOA2. 2 weeks to 3 months. So if you got your, let's see, you got it on April 20, on 10/20, October 2020, October. You got USCIS approval on October 23rd. That's a long time. You should be you need to be contacting MVC or USCIS and doing an investigation. Where is it at? You should have heard by now. So unless your embassy is real busy and they have to wait for the embassy to open up, but check into that. Okay. April. Oh, okay. So April, if you got April 10th, 2023. So if you got your approval on April 10th, 2023, then April, May. So by June, middle of June, you should hear from MVC. Give them time to process the paperwork, okay? Give USCIS time to mail it to the MVC. Give the MVC time to process the case number. 2 to 3 months. Let's see. I was referring to the beneficiary's income. I am the sponsor. Okay, if the beneficiary has 0 income, that's no problem. You put 0 in the form I-134. The I-134 is not about your beneficiary. It's about you, Mr. Sponsor, okay? It's about you guys, Mr. Sponsor. When you fill out your form I-134, immigration want to see what your income is, Mr. Sponsor. If your beneficiary, here's my recommendation to everybody watching this YouTube channel right now. When you fill out I-134, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, put 0 in your beneficiary's block of income. Even if she has, like Karina's got this fantastic job, she makes millions of pesos, but when I filled out her my I-134, I put 0 in there for income because it's irrelevant. When Karina leaves Colombia to the United States, she's not going to be working as a manager of a ice cream store. So her income in the United States when she first gets here is going to be 0. So when you fill out I-134, think of it this way. What is the income of your beneficiary when she steps off the plane or he steps off the plane and enters the United States of America? What is his or her income going to be? It's going to be 0. Because she's not working. She doesn't have a work permit. She doesn't have a green card. He doesn't have permission to work. So 0, 0. So you're on form I-134 and you're filling out beneficiary information. What is my income? 0. Assets, 0. The only thing you're going to put in there is if he or she has a dependent, like a son or a daughter. Then you're going to put, your beneficiary is going to put her name. And then underneath her name, she'll put the name of her daughter or son, all family members. And then you're going to add up the total. And that's the number of family members. Okay. It's very simple. USCIS form I-134 is all about you, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor. It's got nothing to do with your beneficiary. So put 0 for income. Even if she's a millionaire, put 0 for income. It makes it much easier to process. Okay. Karina makes a lot of money in Colombia, and when I fill out a form, it says I put 0 for income because when she gets to the USA, her income will be 0. She's not going to start work at Miami International Airport right off the bat. Oh, I got a job here. No. Do you understand? Did it make it clearer for you guys on the I-134? It's don't stress this, okay? The I-134 is Diego requesting a visa for Karina, okay? The DS-160 is you, Miss Beneficiary, requesting a K-1 visa to come to the United States, okay? So Karina fills out the DS-160 with my help because she wants to come to the United States so we can get married. The financial declaration of support, I-134, is all about me. How much money do I make? Where is she going to live? What is my income? They don't care about Karina's income. They don't care if she is the president of a multinational corporation in Bogota, Colombia. Her income will be zero, zero, zero. They're going to be looking at my stuff, my house, my assets, my bank statement, my checking account, my savings account, my income. Yeah, okay, crew. Okay, you got it? It's clear in your head, right? When you fill out I-134, it's all about you, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, not your beneficiary. Okay? Everything is about you. Do you qualify, Mr. Sponsor? Do you meet the income requirements to take care of your beneficiary when she gets to the USA? Yes or no? If no, get a sponsor. But if your beneficiary doesn't make any money and has zero assets, okay, it's irrelevant to the immigration officer. Immigration officer couldn't care less. The immigration officer wants to know what you make, Mr. Sponsor. Yeah, Danielle, I can do that. I can make a video about the I-134. Gary Higgins, hello. On the DS-160, can I print and sign the scan to my beneficiary? On the DS-160, can I print and sign the scan to my... Okay, Gary, the DS-160 is all about your beneficiary. And yes, you can sign and scan it, but it's going to be her signature, not yours. The DS-160 is your beneficiary's request for a K-1 visa to enter the United States of America. So she has to sign it electronically. But because it's an electronic signature, you can scan it to your beneficiary without a problem. But I would recommend printing it, getting that barcode that once you complete it, get the completion certificate. I would scan it to her, but I would mail it to her also. Put it in the mail, DHL. Okay. I am very fortunate. I'm going to be in Colombia when I do the DS-160 with Karina, so I'll be able to print it right there. But for you folks who are not going to be with your beneficiary, I recommend printing the DS-160 and mailing it. And then, yes, you can scan it because it's an electronic signature. So it's no big deal. But the Form I-134, that has to be, get this right here. Look what it says, Navy Federal. And then sign it. And then DHL it to your beneficiary so he or she can bring it to the embassy interview. Okay, you got that, guys? Very important. Don't forget also to bring the original divorce decrees. Let's talk about divorce decrees. If you are divorced, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, you have to go to the courthouse or wherever the government office is that controls the who has a record of your divorce. Pay the clerk the $20 or whatever it is, have her print it, the divorce decree, every page, have her put the government stamp on it and have her sign it, and that is an original certified copy of a divorce decree. That qualifies for immigration. Making a photocopy of that stamped page signed by the government officer does not qualify. So if you have a divorce decree, it must say final divorce decree, not the magistrate. Usually sometimes you go through a divorce, then you go to a magistrate first, then the magistrate will send you an email. Okay, your divorce has been granted by magistrate so-and-so. Okay. But what you need, that's not sufficient for immigration. You got to have the judge's signature and the final divorce decree stamped by the government, signed by the government in original ink, and include that with your originally signed I-134 financial declaration of financial support. Gary Higgins, thanks. We are April 14 filers. Do you have any idea when they are looking at cases? Is there a case tracking app we can get? You can. Here's my recommendation. I don't put any case tracking apps on my phone, because if I put a case tracking app on my phone, then I'm going to be checking it every 30 minutes. And it's going to drive me absolutely insane. Don't put a case tracking app on your phone. Just file your K-1 visa, then wait for your NOA-2 letter. And right now it's taking 13 to 14 months. Tracking the case will drive you insane. But if you Google case tracking for USCIS, there's bunches of apps out there that you can put on your phone if you want to do that. Me personally, I don't care about tracking my case. All I care about is checking my mail and finding an NOA2 letter. Now, I've signed up for the U.S. Postal Service informed delivery. So the day before my USCIS letter comes to me, I will get an email from the post office that says, this letter is on the way to your house, Diego. And I'll say, oh, great, USCIS, Homeland Security, California, whatever. And then I'm going to be happy as a clam. Well, unless it's, the visa's not approved or I got to get an RFE, then I won't be so happy. But I don't recommend tracking your case. For what? You can't speed up the process. Does it go any faster if you go on your phone and check your case status? No. You're just going to get more angry or depressed or sad. Oh, it's still not ready. It's still not ready. Don't do that. Don't count days, count months. I'm in month 13. And that's all I care about. Month 13. And, I expect an NOA2 letter middle of June because they're looking at April 1st filers now, 2022. I'm April 18th, 2022. So I'm expecting to see an NOA2 letter middle of June. What day that is, I don't know. Gary, April 14th, 2022. Okay, so you should hear from USCIS in the middle of June. First week of June, second week of June, 2023. Okay, don't put no case tracking app on your phone. You'll go crazy. But that's me. I can't deal with counting days. It's like when I was in the Navy on a 6-month deployment. Everybody in the people in my shop would be counting days. Well, we've been at sea for 47 days. Okay, so what? Well, how much longer? Well, I don't know. We could be 5 months at sea. We could be 4 months at sea. We could be in the middle of a war and we're at sea for a year. Who knows? Don't count. So I never counted days when I was at sea in the Navy, but other people would. They count months. They take off their bull cap and they get the white out and paint a little stripe in their bull cap when a month had passed. Now, I did that. Okay, once a month had passed, the first of every month, I was at sea, in the Mediterranean. I'm in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea in Operation Desert Storm. What did I do? Month passed, I put a little piece of white out and painted a little sticker on my bull cap. Same's true. That's probably why I can handle this immigration process a lot easier than a lot of other people, because I'm used to waiting for something. When I was deployed in the Navy, I was waiting to go back to my home base. When I filed my K-1 visa the first time, I was waiting for the approval. Now I'm on my second K-1 visa. I'm used to waiting. I'm accustomed to it. I know how it works. Count months and you're good. Krutokran Biniyao, should I include the signed cover letter of a lawyer? It is attached to the final divorce decree. Okay. And it says final divorce, judgment ended. Yeah, but don't staple it. When you get your divorce decree, when you have your divorce decree, okay, get you one of these and remove the staples and put that in your visa package. Don't staple anything. 0. And that includes CR1 visa packages too, Jose. If you have a divorce decree, like my divorce decree is not stapled, okay? Yeah, you can include the lawyer letter if you want to. Now, if your divorce decree included a letter from the lawyer, included in your K-1 visa package or whatever, include it, but just don't staple it, okay? Did that help you? It will help. I tell you, you want to speed this process up. Don't staple anything. Don't put any paper clips. But I do recommend when you put your visa package together, you put it in document protectors and in a binder. And the reason I say that is because you want to store your visa package safely and securely at the service center, whichever one that is. And if you just bundle it all into a file folder, immigration may lose stuff. They could lose stuff. They just, they carry in your visa package in a loose binder and a paper drops out when they're walking to their office and they drop on the floor, then they don't notice. There's an RFE in the making right there. But if everything's in a binder, in document protectors, they can flip through it like a book. Your stuff is safe. Crit Toucan Beanie Yao, everything is clear. Glad to hear it. I'm happy to hear that. I want to make this visa process as easy as possible for you guys. Stress-free. I know it's not stress-free, but it is if you can just try to relax and be patient. The secret to anything in life is to be patient. Okay? Like I want to get married to Karina. I want to get married and get our life started, but I got to be patient. You know, I want to get a new car. I'd like to get a different vehicle, but I got to be patient. They cost a fortune, so I'm going to save up. You know, it's all about how you manage your thoughts. Don't let any negative thoughts get in your head. That's going to hurt you mentally and make you sick and stress out. Okay, try not to do that. And if you need help, let me know. I'll help you. Okay, I'll help you guys. I will help you guys. And I'm just checking to make sure I didn't miss any messages, any questions in here. Everybody's clear. Okay, so you're clear on the I-134. Must be the original signature. Let's be clear on the divorce decree. It must say final divorce decree, and it must have an original stamp from the government office that holds that document and signed by a government official. Original ink signature, okay? Now, you can send a copy of the DS-160 because that's an electronic signature. So it doesn't matter. It's an electronic signature. Electronic immigration approves that signature is valid, okay? Remember, the DS-160 is your beneficiary asking for a visa to come to the United States to marry you. The I-134, Declaration of Financial Support, is you, Mr. Sponsor, showing immigration you can take care of your beneficiary when she gets to the United States. Gary Lafferty, the petitioner doesn't sign DS-160, only beneficiary. That's correct. The petitioner does not sign the DS-160. You can fill out the DS-160, Mr. Petitioner, but you have to sign in your beneficiary's name. Okay? Yeah. And you have to upload also a photo, passport photo too. Yep. When you fill out the DS-160, you have to upload a passport photo of your beneficiary or your beneficiary. When she or he fills out the DS-160, she has to upload a passport photo for immigration. I-134 can't be a scanned copy. Nope. The I-134 cannot be a scanned copy. Cannot. They have zero tolerance. It must be right here. You get the pen and you sign the I-134 in black ink and date it. That is a legal qualified document. Remember, the I-134 doesn't have to be notarized or anything because you are swearing an oath that the information that you fill out on that form is true and correct. So when you sign it, it has to be in black ink. Okay. Gary Higgins. I'm thinking when my beneficiary gets her ticket to come to Atlanta to fly her to Dallas, drive her to Atlanta so she won't have to deal with immigration 2 times. Excellent idea. Excellent idea. That's a great idea. Jose, do I submit the I-130 along with the, if you need an I-130A and I-130, you put them together. Yeah, when you file. You sure do. Put them together. Come on, guys. Throw more questions at me. This old Navy guy is ready for you to help you. Okay? Now, I recommend also that you get a copy of your K-1 visa package or CL-1 visa package into the hands of your fiance or wife or husband in his or her foreign country. When I mailed the K-1, when I put my K-1 visa package together for Karina, I mailed it to Dallas, and Dallas took it to California, etc. When I got my NOA-1 letter, I then flew back to Colombia with a complete photocopy of the K-1 visa package. including USCIS Form I-129F. Okay, including that. And all the photos and the passport pic, everything, a complete copy. So at my apartment in Colombia, I have an exact copy of what immigration is sitting on right now at the service center in California. Let's see. Janella James, what's required for adjustment of status? Adjustment of status is USCIS Form I-864. I-864 plus all the evidence that you can muster to show you guys got married within 90 days. I made videos about it. I made a video about the I-864 and the adjustment of status process. I don't know if you subscribe to the channel or not. You don't have to, but if you are, it makes it easier for you to page through the videos and find them. Is the I-130A required even though the petitioner is a citizen? I don't know the answer to that question, Jose. I don't know. Now, remember, I'm not an immigration attorney, and I don't give any legal advice here. This is just experience. So I've not experienced that. Is the I-130A required even though the petitioner is a citizen? I don't know, but I can find out for you. Yes, I subscribe. I will go and watch it. Okay, Janiela. Yeah, if you well, thanks for subscribing. But if it makes it easier for you to find videos, if you do, and then you can page through them. I made a lot of videos, so don't get your eyes all wore out looking for it. Gary Higgins, my income is over 120,000. Is it necessary to list all my assets? No. You don't have to list your house, your assets, your bank statements, nothing. Zero. Just your income, your W-2, and your tax return. Yeah, Jose, you want to make a great packet. I agree. Yeah, investigate that. But I don't know the answer to that part, okay? I don't ever remember doing that when I filed for my spousal visa years ago, a long time ago. So it's a long time, but I don't remember doing that. It's ELK. Cash in the bank considered an I-134 form submission? Yeah, you can include it. It comes on when you fill out your I-134 under the sponsor. Now, beneficiary is going to be 000. Even if your beneficiary's got 20 grand in the bank, just put 000. Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, you're going to get your last bank statement. And you're going to bring that to the visa interview for your beneficiary. And in that bank statement, it's going to say what your bottom line is in your bank checking and savings account. And if you want to include it, you can include it on your I-134. You don't have to if you meet the income requirements, but you can if you want. A good idea to send them a copy of the 129 that was some of them in. Right. Yeah. Some of the questions come from in Manila. In Manila, though, you don't need it. So in Manila, in the embassy in the Philippines, in Manila, you don't need it. But some embassies, you could use it for homework. Brickty, my income's $54,000. Then depending on how many people are in your family, how many people are you sponsoring to come to the United States of America? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's important. Okay. If you're sponsoring one person, you're sponsoring 3 people, so then you're good. The minimum income to sponsor 3 people is $30,075. So you're way over. So it's 1 or 3. How many people? If it's one is impossible. Well, 1 would be you included with your beneficiary. So that's 2 people. 3 people would be if that person has a child. Okay, so the minimum income in 2023 to sponsor somebody is $31,075 for 3 people. That's to adjust the status when you get to the United States. Okay, that's the minimum income. That's 125% of the CDC's recommended federal poverty guidelines. So you're good on the income. So you don't have to list your house or your assets or your bank statement. You don't have to include it. If that $54,000 is showing up on your W-2 and your tax transcript and your tax return, then you're good. Daniela, Diego, it's me and my mom in the household. Do I count her or just myself, being that I don't have any kids? Do you support your mom? Does she part of your? Do you include her on your tax return? Do you claim her as a tax dependent, or is she just living with you guys? You know, if she's on your taxes, then you claim her. If she's not on your tax, if you don't claim her as a dependent on your taxes, then she's just living with you. She's paying her way. You're paying your way. You understand that, Janiela? Okay, guys, let me see. No, I don't claim her. Then she pays her way. She pays for her food, her electric. She's just living with you. That's fine. Does she pay you rent? Do you claim her? Do you get her rent income from her? You know, it's just you. So no. Okay, Daniela, glad you understand. It's a piece of cake, right? Don't overthink this. Immigration can be difficult. Immigration attorneys can make it sound difficult, and then Diego uncomplicates everything for you guys. Right? Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to log off. I've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes. I want to give you guys, I appreciate you stopping by to check in and listen. And good. Thanks for your questions. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., I'll be back. I'm going to do the live stream on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Okay, sound good? Because, 5 p.m., the time change is different for some people. And that way they can get their dinner going or whatever. And they can sit down and concentrate on immigration and not on taking care of the daily life of your life. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. We will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time. And be ready. If I didn't answer your question today, I'll get it tomorrow. And Brick T, how can I check the wait time in the French embassy? They won't answer you because they don't know. Because every day is different. Every week is different. Every month is different. The French embassy is in Paris. But the average wait time I've been seeing is like 6 weeks to 2 months. All right, guys. Thanks. See you tomorrow.